Morning crew, and welcome back to the Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Busy day in the workshop today, lots of little jobs to do, and then I get out on Trevor the tractor and I've got to remove an old retaining wall, dig back all the soil, and then make a start building the new improved retaining wall. Yes, that's a job for the outside, but today first job is I removed an engine from a farm bike and pulled the top end down. You might have seen that in a previous video, or one in the future maybe, who knows. And unfortunately the engine's no longer required for the customer. So I thought, well, I know the engine's, I've been told the engine's got a gearbox fault and it's not really much use to me anyway, so I'm going to pull it apart. We're going to film it and see what the gearbox fault was. Oh, there's the pie. We'll give it a minute just to cool down. And another little job I have to do is my Power Hacksaw isn't cutting straight anymore. So in this video, we're going to install a new blade because I don't know why it's not cutting straight anymore. Other than the fact, the only thing that's changed is the old blade lost a fair few teeth. And then it started to cut off at a silly angle. But more on that later on. But I have got a new blade, so we're going to see if that fixes the problem. If it doesn't, I'm going to reach out to you, the expert viewers that have used Power Hacksaws in the past, and to give me some pointers, because I can't see any adjustment on the saw. It's a bit of a pain. It's a good little saw, but not if it doesn't cut straight. Right, time for a pie. Ooh, nice. Now, this pie, geez, it's hot. I'm not going to eat the whole pie with you, but I just want to show you what it is. It's a Big Ben steak and double cheese. I don't think we've done a Big Ben steak and double cheese. I know we've done a double XL Big Ben steak and cheese, but who knows? It might be good, it might be crap. I'll find out and let you know later on. See you later. Used.
You don't paint something without warning.
Honestly. Hey puppy, have you had your breakfast? Just eating my pie. Very nice. Go and get your breakfast. No? You'd rather stay in the workshop, wouldn't you? Good job, dog. Now that wasn't a half bad pie, to be honest. Did the trick. So the problem we've got with the Power Hacksaw, well, I'll take a little walk around in a minute, is it's not cutting the material squarely. And this is a big chunk of aluminium, or aluminum as some people call it. Now you might notice on the end of there I've done like a multiple cut because I had to cut this to get a job done. So I just cut down maybe, I don't know, about an inch or so, rotated it round, cut another inch, rotated it round and cut another inch and so on, until I worked my way through the piece, because I couldn't afford for it to deviate off. The first cut that I did, which I've now machined away on the lathe, must have been about maybe 20 millimeters, nearly an inch out. As the blade cut down, it was curving off at a very steep angle from about halfway down onwards, and it was just ludicrous. I was just like, what's going on? This is ridiculous. But to be fair, I haven't cut any material anywhere near as big as this for a very long time. Normally it's small pieces of box section and flat bar and stuff. So I've bought some new blades. This blade isn't the original one when I bought the hacksaw, but it is extremely bad. I mean, you can see that or not on the camera. Maybe we'll do a close-up because it's pretty good. That's better. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning. So you can see on the blade, the majority of the cut is in this area here. So that's where it's going to get most of the wear and tear. And you can see quite clearly there's a chunk of teeth missing. There's 3 or 4 teeth missing there. Again, a big chunk there. This blade was knackered a long time ago. And Andy being Andy, just likes to get the use out of it. We've also got bits of aluminium from the previous cut embedded in the blade, and even down here a lot of those teeth have gone. It should look like that, by the way, you know. So we now have a couple of new blades. I need one for this, got a spare one. It's 14 teeth per inch, I believe that stands for. And that's the spec of the blade there. Look, made by Evercut, so it's a good brand blade, and of course it goes in that direction. So we'll get this fitted after we've had a little wander around the Power Hacksaw. So this is the machine, and I bought this many years ago, just after I first came to New Zealand, because I left my Power Hacksaw in England, and the one I had in England I made myself, so I'm very sad that I left it behind. But I had to convert this one to 240 volt single phase. It was originally a 3-phase machine, hence why the wiring's a bit different. We've got a on-off switch on the side there, and it's done a lot of work. Don't think that this machine only gets a rare bit of use. We've done some pretty serious bulk cuts with this. We had a job a while ago which was over 1,000 pieces to cut. That took Ben quite a long time. So, looking around here, has it got any identification plates on it to help you work out what it is? I don't recognise the saw. I'm sure there was something. Let me get the brush. Hang on. Go and find the brush. Oh, I broke my quick release tool holder the other day on one of the holders, so I'm trying to get some parts for that at the moment. Now, Mr. Brush. There we go. Okay, pretty sure there was a plate on here somewhere. Andy, why didn't you do this before you did the video? Well, because Andy forgot. We'll sweep the floor. Oh, there we are, look. I knew there was something. Okay, we'll get some brake cleaner and give that a bit of a clean up. Here we go. Cheers, Forge. Some blue roll. How was that for multitasking? Looks like it says Bramley, but I really can't work out what it says. Yeah, HR Bramley and Co Limited. So that gives us a rough idea what it is. I'll maybe try and take a better photo of that and stick it in the video as well later on. But it's pretty beefy. I mean, obviously a lot of people these days have gone for the band saws as opposed to Power Hacksaws. But I just like Power Hacksaws. I think they're great. Okay, so we'll get the new blade fitted and do a test cut. God, I hope it works. Okie dokie. Right, this is my little stay that is an old axle. That just goes under there. I know, not super secure. Now, just to measure, check the bushes, there's hardly any movement from side to side, which is a good thing, so I don't think it's a problem with that. Now, obviously, there's a tensioner on here as well, which pulls the blade nice and tight, but this is what actually holds the blade in place. Yeah, it's pretty worn, to be fair. And it has a little pin on there, so we'll stick the blade in there. Arrow is that way. Stick him in there, put that back on. We'll just loosely tighten that for now. Finger tight. There we go. And we've got to do the same at the other end. Doing the classic reach around. This one's a 14 mils. It's always been replaced at some point. There we go. Right, Mr. Blade, on he goes. That was easy, wasn't it? And then we'll stick him back in there. We can tighten that one up. Everything's very oily. It gets lots of lubricant, does this thing, and cutting oil and stuff. It might not even be a 14, it might be some imperial thing. But I doubt it being New Zealand built. If it was out of England back in the day, then yes. Right. There we go, that's good and tight. Okay, we'll tighten that one up next. This is a 13 spanner size. Most bizarre. And it's pretty rounded as well as its bolt. Can we get it with the flat? Yeah, that'll do. Okay, we've still got to tension the blade. Now, it's surprising actually how tight the blades are on power hacksaws. It's a lot more than just on your normal hacksaw. But of course, if you over tighten it, it's going to break, isn't it? Pretty good. I think we're not far off at that. That'll do. If you know exactly what the tension should be for this and how to measure the tension, that'd be really useful. Because I don't. Okay, we'll just tweak up there. Oh god, it's so rounded. Let's tighten this up. This is the lock for the adjustment. There we go, that'll do. Okay, time for a test run. Now, as regards adjustment on this machine, all I can see is there's a little grub screw in here, which if you screw it in, it's going to pivot on this bolt and it might grip the blade a bit more. Okay, but that's only going to change it like that, that's all. So I understand it, but you may know more than I do. And I think there's a similar one at the other end. Yeah, we've got the pin for the actual blade, tightening bolt, and again there's another little grub screw just in there. Now at the tightening end we've got these two cap heads, but they are fixed. They're just to hold this plate in place. If you undo them, you can't rotate this plate from side to side, clockwise or anti-clockwise, to change the angle of the blade. That's not possible. This plate's only here to give you tension on the blade. Now, from what I can see, the only other adjustment are these three lock bolts here, and that's to adjust the wear, or compensate for the wear on this slider here. These are a tapered sort of 45 degree, almost like a dovetail style. You find those on lathes as well. So as they wear, you can tweak these up and it takes the slop out of that linear bearing. But that won't affect blade adjustment either. So we're ready for a cut. I actually used, sorry, oh my word, I'm not looking at the camera there, Andy. Right, I did actually put this guide on this band clamp just to help me to, to keep the whole thing square when I was doing that weird cut on it. I'll take that off, we'll get it slapped in the vise, we'll get things set up, and then we'll start the machine. Woohoo, can't wait. Right, I give the jaws a bit of a clean off. Just offer that up. I want to get it approximately 50 mil. That's my next job. So there we are. That'll do us. It's got to be turned down anyway, so it's not really a problem. Okay, but we don't want to waste any material, Mr. Young. Right. That's not going anywhere. Down we go. Are you ready? Okay, we've got some spray. I'm going to use this is all I've got at the moment. The S400 from Forge. It'll help. I know, Jared's going to give me some grief over that. Right, so we'll put a bit on for now. There we go. Nice. Now, it could take a while. It's not a fast saw, but it is a brand new blade, so I'm going to stick you down here for now, and you'll get a good view. There you go. Perfect position. And yeah, it does rock around as the machine, it's on wheels. It's quite comical watching it in the workshop because it moves around sometimes. Ends up at the other end of the workshop. When we get to about 2/3 of the way down, I'll move the camera and have you pointing from this direction here, and you'll be able to see if it's deviated offline or not. I really hope it hasn't, because I've no idea how I can fix it if it has. Okay, I think it's time for you to go to the front. Are you ready? That's right, no editing, this is live TV. There you go, look, how does that look? Pretty good? Looks pretty good to me, a lot better than before. About 3/4 the way through now. That's looking pretty good actually. I really wasn't expecting this. You always know you're getting close to the end of a cut because the tone changes on the cutting noise on each stroke. The Power Hacksaw I made in England had an auto stop, so when it hit the bottom, when it cut the piece, it would automatically turn off. I used a little micro switch for that. It's pretty cool. Alright, are you ready? We're not far away. Fantastic. Right, we've got something to go and measure now, haven't we? It's going to be hot. It is hot. Okay, I'm a lot happier. It looks really good, but using a square is the best way to check it. So I'll give it a bit of a clean up. I'll get rid of the burrs around the edge, and then we'll test it. And we'll compare it to the other end of the aluminium bar that we just cut, because that was cut by a band saw. We'll see which one gives the best cut. Okay, she's all cleaned up and I've marked the direction of cut. So it started here and the saw made its way down to the bottom down there. So previously the maximum deviation was down the bottom of the cut. This one looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, so into the vise, get the engineer's square on there and we'll see how good the cut was. Okay, focus is set. Just going to fire the old forge torch. I do like my forge torch. Forge torch is good. Okay, so we've got I've taken all the burrs off down the side. The cut started here and worked its way across to this end here. So let's see how accurate we are now. Right, forge torch coming through, and it looks to me like it's the last 15 mil. We do start to deviate a fraction by about 1.5 mil, maybe 2 mil at the max for the last little bit just down here. You can probably see that with the torch as I run the torch across. Still a massive improvement to what we had before. Yeah, it's just right down the bottom, isn't it? Okay, we'll turn off the forge torch. Nice. I do like that torch. So, a massive improvement. I wish I'd kept, but I couldn't because I had to machine it, but it would have been great if you'd seen just how bad this saw was cutting. It was, you know, as it was coming down, by the time it got to the bottom here, it was about 20 millimeters out. The blade was under massive amounts of tension. It was about to break. And it turns out it's all because the blade had lost some teeth. Who would know? You wouldn't notice that on a normal hacksaw blade. What I have noticed on the cut on here is some interesting marks. Let's take a look. Okay, apologies for the flickery lights, but we all know what causes that, don't we? Okay, so you can see the cut lines quite clearly going across. In actual fact, I'll turn it round because then it will be saw at the top, saw at the bottom, right? Okay. And can you see on the aluminium we've got these little dimples here? Look, there's lots of little dimples around, and this is because it's been getting a bit hot when it's been cutting, and the aluminium has sort of stuck. The swarf, the cuts, the chips, call them what you like, have sort of bonded themselves with, because of the heat, to the actual aluminium surface, which isn't great, but it's not a problem for me because, you know, it's going to go in the lathe and get turned down anyway. Incidentally, that's what the other side looked like in my desperation to cut a chunk off to get in the lathe so I could finish a job. I know, it's bad, isn't it? Where's my torch? There we are. Look, right. So this is the bandsaw cut, and it started here and it finished down here. I've taken all the burrs off again for the square. I'll stick him across there. Now I'd expect this to be a lot better because it's a much more modern machine. Oh, look at that. It's bloody perfect, isn't it? Damn, I need a bandsaw. Oh well, good job. I'll best get saving up. Now, I know, a little bit of an odd video for Andy Mechanic, just showing his Power Hacksaw on the problems he had with it. And he didn't even do a cut for us to show us how bad it was. My apologies. Let's change that right now. I'll put the old blade back in. I'll chuck it back, the material back in the vise on the machine, and we'll do a cut. Now, it might break the blade, it may jam. It's going to require lots of lubricant because it's trying to force the blade off to one side. But at least you'll be able to see how bad it was. Here we go. Okay, well, here goes. Old blade installed. It's going to wreck me stock, but it'll be worth it. Obviously, I'll fast forward this for you, crew. Ooh, we're not too far off. What do you think? Can you see anything on the camera yet? This cut took about 13, maybe 14 minutes by the looks of it. I'll have to check the footage on the first cut, but I think it's a lot longer. Here we go! Hey! Fantastic! Job's a carrot. Well, not as bad as previous, to be fair. I wish I'd taken a photo for you, but there is definitely a variance in thickness. You can quite clearly see it on the picture, much thicker at the bottom than the top. Obviously the cut was that way around, so we started at the top and then it started to veer over that way and reduce the thickness of the material and do a non-square cut. Horrible thing. I've got the big chunk, the stock, in the vise. I've given it a bit of a clean up. Let's get the torch and the square on that to just measure how much of a variation there is. How out of square is it? Okay, so the cut started here and finished here, and as you can see there's a definite rise up. It's not square. If I put the other piece back on the top, like that, I think it was. Nope. Bear with me, caller. Bear with me. That way. Yeah, that looks more like it because it's got the burr, don't forget, on there. I'll get rid of the burr for you. Hang on. And then you know I'm not trying to cheat. That should do the trick. Okay, line up the marks. So there you go. We know that one was pretty flat. That was the first cut. Take it off, and there you go. So, time for the square and the forge torch. Here we go. Forge torch is on. Do we really need it? Make sure the square is nice and tight on the side. Oh man, that's horrific. There you go, look. So you can see it's pretty bad. Sort of the bottom half of the cut, the second half of the cut's the worst. And as regards a measurement, we're looking at about, you want to see, don't you? Maybe you can't see, but you want to see. Hold that against the side. About 4.5 millimeters. Not good. Not good at all. Okay, crew, well, we've come to the end of the video. What an interesting video it turned out to be, actually. I'm pleased that we did the bad cut at the end using the old blade. I'm a bit saddened that it didn't actually cut as badly as it did a couple of weeks ago when I was mad panic trying to get some work done in the workshop. That was pretty bad. It was like, 15-20 mil variation, not 4.5 that we saw today. But the only thing that we changed from a bad cut to a good cut, or in this case good cut to a bad cut, was the blade. So if you have a power hacksaw and you can't find any blade adjustments, and to be fair, I wouldn't suggest you try to adjust the blade. First thing is check the condition of the blade. How worn is that blade? Is it missing some teeth? It's a cheap option. Just chuck a new blade in, do a test cut. If that fixes the problem, don't play with the settings on the power hacksaw, if there are any. The one that I made in the UK used standard hacksaw blades because I was a poor student. I was like 15 years old when I made that, and I couldn't afford proper power hacksaw blades, but I could afford standard hacksaw blades, and the reason for that is I used to get them for free from my dad's garage, from their parts department. Yes. Did they know about it? Who's to say? Anyway, thanks, Dad. Appreciate that. So I had adjustments on there so I could actually rotate the blade to get an accurate cut. And the power hacksaw itself, and if I can find a photo, I'll stick it on this video, a couple of photos. In fact, Andy, put them on. Here they are. Yes, the power hacksaw used a BSA Bantam 175 crankshaft to change the rotational motion to a linear motion. How cool was that? It also used an old bench grinder as an intermediate axle to give me a 2-stage gearing, and the large plastic pulley was off an XM9 BMX bike from many years ago that I think was my brother Phil's, and it was scrapped. So I just took the wheel out and used that as a pulley, machined a little boss for the middle and chucked it on. It worked brilliantly. I was so happy. That power hacksaw it was part of my GCSE metalwork, and it got taken down by one of the examiners, one of the board that came up to do an audit. It got put in the back of his car in York and driven all the way to London and shown to the whole committee what this 15-year-old lad had not only built but also designed. I was really chuffed, and I'm really sad that I left that in the UK. I'll never see it again. It's gone. Be in a skip somewhere, I'm sure. But it worked great. It really did. Anyway, I'm back. Enough of the photos. So, if you enjoyed this video, why not click on subscribe, ring the bell, and that way YouTube will send you notifications as and when I upload any new videos. There's already over 900 videos on the channel. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, to be fair. Apologies there haven't been that many videos out recently. My day job is really encroaching a lot on my own time these days. And it's not good, to be honest. I need my own time to make videos for you guys. Now, you'll also find me on Facebook and Instagram. It is a new Instagram account. The old one got stolen by a Bitcoin guy, but you've heard all about that. So there'll be some more posts on Instagram soon. Peruse both of those two social media platforms, especially the Facebook one. There's heaps of stuff on there from over the years. And you can message me through Facebook Messenger if you can find me. I am on there. And if you want to support the channel, this is an important part of doing the videos, to be fair, because I need your help as well. They cost a lot to make, realistically, with all the editing and the time taken. If you want to support the channel, then the most important thing that you could do would be to share one of my videos on your social media, and that helps to spread the word. It doesn't cost anything, it's just a few seconds of your time, and it really helps to build the channel. We're very close to the 100,000 subscriber mark, and that's a very important milestone for a YouTube creator like me. It means that I have, as soon as I get that, not only do we get a plaque's great for the wall, but it also means that I have direct access to YouTube, the staff at YouTube, and if I have any problems with my channel, I can communicate them when they can help me resolve it. Below 100,000 subscribers, I'm a little tiny minnow in a massive sea of YouTube channels, and they just don't want to know. And I've had problems in the past, and it's been very frustrating. So very much looking forward to getting to the 100,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, please do. If you also want to help the channel financially, and some do, and thank you to those that have, you can do that through Patreon. You can become a patron to the channel. You can do a one-off donation, or you can do a monthly sort of subscription to Patreon. Or you can jump onto PayPal and you can just chuck some money through that way. Don't send it as a donation on PayPal. I'm not a registered charity, never will be. You'll need to send it as a payment, please. And it's to the email address andymechanic@live.co.uk. And you can also email me on that email address as well. And yes, it is me that answers those emails. Can't guarantee I'll get back to you straight away, or that you end up in the spam folder. My apologies. But I will do my very best to get back to you whenever I can and try and help you with your problems. If you can help me with the Power Hacksaw, if you recognize this hacksaw, and maybe when it was made, a bit more information behind it, or the problems that you've had with your Power Hacksaw, because they're getting pretty antiquated now. Is this style of machine? You don't see very many of them around. If you're still running one, then tell me all about it. Send me an email with some photos. It'd be really cool. Okay, crew, well, I really have to crack on. See you next time. Cheers. Over and out.
And you get the flip again.
Oh!